This park board meeting of Tuesday, February 7th to order. First item on tonight's agenda is the approval of the minutes of the January 11th meeting. Members should have all got a copy of the minutes in their packets. Does anybody have any additions or corrections? Okay, hearing none, I need a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved. Second.
Been moved by Mr. Dietrich, seconded by Mr. Prost. All those in favor, Mr. Prost,
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich,
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
Aye.
I'm an aye also. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the attorney's report.
We have several contracts to go over. Try not to bore you guys to tears. The first one's a consideration of purchase agreement for K&K Fence. This is a fencing that's going to be over in Craig Park. You all should have gotten a copy of it. Any questions about it?
Hey, Billy, I can't share my screen. I got it. So you guys will know what you're approving. I've got an outline for the fence. Go ahead.
This is the, everything in the event law at Craig Park.
This is, we discussed this last time.
I did, I tabled.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Try now. Pose disabled, distance. screen
Plan.
sharing.
What's that?
Plan view with the fences going in.
Mhm.
See if I can show you guys. So the event lawn proposed, which is already built, you can see the small rectangular stage platform all the way to the right hand side. Got the dance platform, the sound check, APA spots after that. And then the 96, that's a stretch of fence that would connect into the existing DPW fence and then head northwest, then to the west, then back up north up to the parking lot. This gives us kind of a controlled access or controlled area, which creates access points that will be able to kind of give us a lot more opportunities during Freedom Fest. So that's the purpose, and Land Fest, and any additional expansion of programming that we want to do.
Okay.
The money, 36,970. That was from a carryover of funds that we had last year. Just tag it on this project so we can carry it over to, so just take out any operating funds for this year.
Will it be completed?
Go ahead.
Will it be completed for the upcoming?
That is the goal. So I got after your consideration, I'll then tomorrow get on the phone with K&K, start working on scheduling, and getting them whatever necessary. I can work on it.
And
It looks like that will work though.
no other gates except for the open access points, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and just for transparency and open door policy, I'll share what I just shared. I think. So if there's anything online. Yes, that's what.
You're just sharing that for anybody who might be.
Yes, online. Yeah, I don't think there is. but-
Okay.
Looks good for me.
Anybody have any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, I need a motion to approve the purchase agreement with K&K Fence.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Prost. All those in favor, Mr. Burton.
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
Mr. Prost.
Aye.
I'm an aye also. Motion carries. Next item.
Next use agreement for West Side Park by Kelsey Thompson for softball games to be held on April 15th, 22nd, 29th, May 6th, 13th, 20th, 2023.
Heather King is our liaison for all athletic field rentals, and shelter house rentals. And that I have not been informed of any red flags on this particular rentals. They're eager to know the response. They seem like to be a very good, it'd be a very good steward of the property. I don't want the program as well. I think it would be well aligned.
Is this softball or kickball?
It's kickball at the softball.
Yep.
diamond.
Thank you. Okay.
I misspoke.
And are there any issues with getting the diamonds ready in April? I mean, besides the obvious weather.
We don't have any issues.
Okay.
The renter will be informed of
Okay.
typical
Yeah.
impacts on our field, if they need to be canceled because of the conditions.
Okay.
They're aware of all that.
Any other questions, comments? And hearing none, I need a motion to approve the use agreement with Kelsey Thompson for the use of the softball diamonds at Westside Park.
So moved.
Second,
Moved by Mr. Dietrich, second by Mr. Frost. All those in favor, Mr. Frost,
aye.
Mr. Burton,
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
I'm an aye also, motion carries.
Next is a consideration of service agreement for Superior Ground Cover. This essentially contract by 334 cubic yards of engineered wood fiber for playground coverage area, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, this is our safety service material we have to have 3 feet higher, I believe, on play equipment. As you can see, last year's proposal was $20,000. Since we kind of initiated this last year, the cost has already come down almost half, right? And that's because we've done it. And we keep on top of this on a yearly basis. We should find a nice median price year after year as far as maintenance goes. So it's $12,525, and that covers any deficiencies we have in our safety service material.
What's the CWF mean? I may ask.
Engineered wood fiber.
Okay.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, need a motion to approve the service agreement with Superior Ground Cover.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Dietrich. All those in favor, Mr. Burton,
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich,
Aye.
Mr. Frost.
Aye.
I'm an aye also, motion carries.
Next is the consideration of installation of service agreement for the live barn. The main contract is exactly the same. This came up at our last meeting. There was an addendum also that I drafted in order to comply with Indiana and local ordinances, Indiana law and local ordinances. You approved the addendum. I wrote the live barn wanted it. Was not okay with one of the changes. Essentially had to do with the termination of the contract. It's a 6-year exclusivity. Originally, what I put was if either way the contract's terminated, we're not bound by the exclusivity. That's evidently a hard no for them. What it is, if they breach the contract materially and they can't remedy it, then we're no longer bound by the exclusivity. Otherwise, we would be bound by the 6 years of exclusivity to them if we terminate the contract. So really, it's a approval of the addendum with the changes they've requested to it.
So for a couple of us, you guys can make a decision. We included references in your guys' packet that have live barn in there, to see if there would be any issues that we may run into, we're not foreseeing. Use due diligence. I think we can look at 3 or 4 references from surrounding states. They were all very positive. We don't foresee any problems with that exclusivity of 6 years. There are issues, and we don't use their service. I mean, we're not out of anything. We don't have anything bound out. We'll just use our phones or do whatever. So that's just kind of wanted to make sure you guys had a little bit of information to go on.
So just a synopsis, I guess, we approved this last month meeting.
Yeah.
There was a few bumps in the road. You fixed all that with live barn, so now we're just reapproving.
Reapproving the contract and the changes to the addendum.
Thank
which was-
Questions or comments? Excuse me. Okay, hearing none, I need a motion to approve the installation of service agreement with Livewire.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Dietrich. All those in favor, Mr. Prost,
Aye.
Mr. Burton,
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
I'm I also, motion carries.
Next is a contract to purchase the delivery of Kubota, I could be butchering this, diesel tractors. To replace a tractor that's, I guess, it's had its life expectancy and then we're getting a new one.
Yeah, so we currently mow the airport. We've been like bequeathed an old Red International. I don't know if you're still using that or not. We have an older Kubota. It's about a 40 horsepower. And we also have a John Deere Kubota as well. Still very serviceable. We use those as well, but we were ever expanding, always looking for efficiencies. Feel like this would be a great way to increase that efficiency. In addition to this tractor, also for consideration, there's another flex mower in here as well. I'm not going to ahead of myself. This is for a Kubota. This will primarily help with our large kind of open areas, open green spaces. For example, Freedom Park, Woodman, Summerfield, the airport, those large kind of open areas that we can really maximize. And that's the purpose of this. We are budgeted for this.
But Kubotas are noted for being very versatile with different implements.
They are.
I mean, you can use about anything with this tractor.
Yeah. Yeah. So this doesn't necessarily just have to be put in a box and just for mowing. I mean, there's a lot of snow removal attachments we can put on this as well. It's endless.
Is this, are you keeping the old Kubota?
Yeah,
Is
I
that-
mean, we need them.
Is that the one I bought?
It is.
Wow.
And it's, as far as I
Okay, so
know,
that speaks to how long they run.
and as far as I know, mechanically, the engine, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Okay. And we're looking at the one that's circled on this proposal.
Correct.
There's three different.
Correct.
We're looking at the one for 37,
Correct.
122. Okay.
Yep.
Questions or comments?
Have
Hearing
you
none.
dealt with these people before?
Jacoby, yeah.
Anything else? No, excuse me. Okay, I need a motion to approve the purchase agreement for the Kubota tractor for Jacoby sales.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Prost, seconded by Mr. Burton. All those in favor, Mr. Prost,
Aye.
Mr. Burton,
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
I'm not also, motion carries.
This is my car.
Consideration of service agreement for slide experts. Essentially, this is for maintenance for the slides at the Freedom Springs Park for painting, polishing the two of the slides at the aquatic center.
So what you guys are looking at is aggregate total of $63,610, and that is for a complete, I guess, R&M of the slides and restoration, repair, and maintenance, from everything from the open flume slide to the aquatic play set that's in the splash pad as well, as far as a dump bucket, the acrylics that are on that, the little slides on those. And then additionally, the big tube slide, the restoration of the outside of the tube slide, and then the open flume slide, the blue flume slide is painting the exterior of that and then polishing the interior of the open flume as well. We're on our 8th year. You're going to see others in the agenda for Freedom Springs. We're our 8th year of operation. This is very, very typical. Makes the collection facilities. We are budgeted this, we're prepared. At this time, I think going forward, instead of getting hit like this, I think we're going to set up a kind of a maintenance regime on these slides on a year or bi-yearly basis. So maybe we don't get confronted with a cost like this so much every 8 years. We can chew it off in increments each year or every 2 years.
So will this cover all of them? It'll all be painted?
Yeah.
This covers everything but the newer drop slide that's in the last right now. That thing is probably
thing?
It's probably only about 3 years old now. It's not ready.
Okay. These guys are, excuse me, these guys are out of Texas. You anticipate them being, getting in here and getting it done before race week?
We're already tentatively kind of like feeling them out to see what the schedule will be like. I think we got a comfort level to get here and get it done before season starts. We got several companies and several quotes, and they were by far the most responsive and the most affordable.
We didn't buy from them, did we? Thought we bought
No, the slides themselves,
them. Yeah, I thought we
no,
bought
they
them.
can splash tack.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, I need a motion to approve the service agreement with Slide Experts for restoration work on these slides at Freedom Springs.
So move.
Second,
Been moved by Mr. Dietrich, second by Mr. Prost. All those in favor, Mr. Dietrich,
Aye.
Mr. Burton,
Aye.
Mr. Prost.
aye,
I'm an aye also, motion carries.
Next is a purchase contract for a Bethco flex mower from Tom Wood over in Martinsville. Again, from the mowing services the fire department provides.
15-foot flex mower. Yeah, it's hydraulic lift. And we have 3 of them already, and this will be our 4th in the fleet. We still have the very original one that we bought when I started, so it's still alive. And this again just adds that fleet and then adds to the efficiency. And again, this is a line item that we have prepared for, it's budgeted for.
Questions, comments? Okay, hearing none, need a motion to approve the purchase agreement with Tom Wood Outdoor in Martinsville for the purchase of the 2022 Bevco Flex One mower.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Been moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Dietrich. All those in favor, Mr. Burton,
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich,
Aye.
Mr. Prost.
aye,
I'm an aye also, motion carries.
Next is a consideration of public trail easement and temporary construction easement grant for Wayne Scott.
So we're still kind of chipping away at this. See on the map on your screens. This is we have an offer back and we have a closeout document, what you're looking at packet, for $1,000 from Wayne Scott. It is the area that is. Wow. Blue, what color it is, purple, it's probably purple. Purple there, and then that would help. See where the trail is underneath that, it's a critical part of that we need, so. That knocks out, we don't have that many left, so we're getting there, we're chipping away at it. They're wanting $1,000 for that, that's where it brings that. So I need more consideration to make that all for that easement.
Is this back off Tanglewood?
No, this is, so, county lines right on the right hand side.
Okay.
So community south is just on the other side, that's
Okay.
right there.
Questions or comments?
So that just leaves you with 2 parcels left, right?
3, so it leaves me with 5 left. But I got 2 that are in negotiations that are working out technical issues that will get worked out that are agreeable to it. So we'll get those, and then it leaves me 3 that we need to further negotiate.
And that's everything in red, correct?
That's everything right. Everything in green is everything, it's been closed out packet, you guys approved, and it's been recorded. So we're getting there.
Sure. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the public trail easement and temporary construction easement with the Wayne Scott family.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Dietrich. All those in favor, Mr. Prost,
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
And I am an aye also. Motion carries.
Next is a consideration of use agreement for Making Memories Classic Pickleball Tournament. It's a fundraiser for the Alzheimer's Association of Greater Indiana on July 28th, July 29th, July 30th. We have a pickleball tournament to raise money. It's their third or fourth year doing this.
It's our second. We have all on that. First year was last year, but they said it's for very complimentary renter. They've been very gracious, and we've had absolutely no issues with them. Goes for good cause. Happy to be part of it.
Is this one the Jackie and Jay Kawamoto? Is that how you say their last name? Were they involved with this one? That's what I thought. Yeah. A lot of good feedback last year on this.
Well, I don't know how directly they're involved in this. This is Mandelbaum. This is Dr.
Oh, this is-
Mandelbaum.
Okay.
This isn't necessarily,
They end up getting on board with it.
yeah, but Mandelbaum is the one.
Mandelbaum's the
Yeah, Mandelbaum's the main drive. Yeah. Okay. Just a question, sorry. Questions, comments? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the use agreement for the Making Memories Classic Pickleball Tournament this year at Craig Park.
So moved.
Second.
So moved by Mr. Dietrich, seconded by Mr. Prost. All those in favor, Mr. Prost,
Aye.
Mr. Burke.
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
I'm an aye also. Motion carries.
Next is the Greenwood, the consideration use agreement for Greenwood Community Band for the performances. They're gonna have this year between 4th, 30th, August 6th, August 26th, September 24th.
You guys have all that information. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. There's a representative here as well. If you have any direct questions.
We're always happy to have the community band play down there. They were driving force getting that thing built, so we appreciate every year they come back, every time they come back.
We enjoy playing at such a beautiful facility.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, need a motion to approve the use agreement with the Greenwood Community Band for their summer concert series at the amphitheater.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Dietrich. All those in favor, Mr. Dietrich,
Aye.
Mr. Burton,
Aye.
Mr. Prost.
Aye.
I'm an aye also. Motion carries and good luck.
Next is a consideration for independent alcohol vendors for the 2023 events versus Mallow Run Winery.
This covers our summer events. As you guys know, summer concert series, Fruit Fest, Fruit Springs. Had many years, great vendors, good partners.
Questions or comments?
They provide beer and wine,
I believe they just provide wine.
just wine.
Beer and wine. Open barrel, I don't know if I heard your question. Open barrel is beer, Mallow runs wine.
Yeah.
There, yeah, yeah, that's what I wanted. Thanks.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the independent alcohol vendors contracts with Mallow Run and Open Barrel for the summer.
So moved.
Second.
Excuse me. Been moved by Mr. Dietrich, second by Mr. Burton. All those in favor, Mr. Prost,
Aye.
Mr. Burton,
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
I'm an aye also. Motion carries.
Next, consideration of independent contractor Steve Campbell as a soccer instructors, having soccer clinics. Charge a fee and we'll get a certain percentage.
This is our boilerplate kind of independent contractor agreement for parks, for the recreation department. It's a 70-30 split for the instructors.
Refresh my memory. Is this indoor, outdoor, both?
Could have been mostly indoor now, but it
Yeah.
could lead to outdoor eventually.
Okay. And I know we've dealt with Mr. Campbell for quite a while, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So at the field house, and then possibly one of the other parks. Okay. Questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, I need a motion to approve the independent contractors agreement with Mr. Steve Campbell for soccer instruction.
So moved.
Second,
Been moved by Mr. Prost, seconded by Mr. Dietrich. All those in favor, Mr. Dietrich,
aye.
Mr. Prost,
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
Aye.
I and I also, motion carries. Next item.
All right, next is the consideration of use agreement for Greenwood Christian Academy for the varsity, and junior varsity to have softball games at Westside Park on April 10th, 13th, 17th, 18th, 20th, and May 1st, May 16th. Possibly could add additional dates later down the road.
Again, Heather's been in constant communication with them. They are charging a gate fee for the game. They did say about, they have a very low percentage on the people that are actually be able to catch on that. We
Yeah.
did ensure that they wouldn't be impeding or obstructing any public park access. They said they would not. It's just to help them cover the costs for umpires and things like that for the game. I'm sure you've read through that. The only reason why they're doing this is because they've lost access to their fields. I don't have an issue with it. I don't think they're gonna have much luck collecting gate fees, people walking up to the games. It's just, the fields don't lend themselves well to be able to do something.
This is a West Side Park, right?
No, this is at, yes,
So Westside.
west side, yes.
It's baseball?
Softball,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But based off the input I get from Heather and then reading this, I don't have any issues.
I don't see how they could possibly,
No.
you know, because you're gonna have people, especially West Side, walking their dog or something, they're gonna stop and watch.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm sure if there's any conflicts or disagreements, you'll hear about it.
Yep.
Okay. I'll be the first. All right, anything else? Hearing nothing, we need a motion to approve the use agreement with Greenwood Christian Academy for use of West Side Park softball diamond for their games this spring.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Dietrich, seconded by Mr. Prost. All those in favor, Mr. Prost,
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
Mr. Burke.
Aye.
I'm an aye also, motion carries.
Next is the consideration of purchase agreement from this Aerolux. We're buying acoustic panels for sound deadening, I'm guessing.
So as we're getting more familiarized with field houses, we're starting to realize, operational wise, what it needs, things like that. One of the program rooms is acoustically challenged. You can't hardly have 2 or 3 people in there talking at once. It's really bad. It's our largest program room in our summer camp out there. It's really hard to do programs. Again, this is a budget item. It's just for the product. We're gonna do the install in house.
They're just large rectangle panels that hang on the wall like a picture, right?
On the ceiling.
Oh, they're on the ceiling.
Yeah, both.
Both.
Said, we're doing the install in-house.
That's the recent formation of the divisions now within the maintenance, with the building aspect and the grounds.
Any other questions or comments?
Did someone go somewhere where they use these, or
I'm sorry.
did someone go to a building where they use these, or?
No, well, we met with a rep. I think Ricky was in contact with a rep. This is what they recommended based off of what we needed and what we wanted to do and the quantity. They also gave us kind of a diagrammatic layout of how to hang them as well. And so we'll just literally give that to
He
them.
also did like a testing when he was there.
There you go.
But none of us have been in a room with these to see what effect.
No.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Thank you.
They're pretty standard across the market. They're all made about the same.
Okay, anything else? Okay, hearing none, need a motion to approve the purchase agreement with Aerolux for these sound reduction panels.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Dietrich, seconded by Mr. Prost. All those in favor, Mr. Prost.
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
Aye.
I'm an aye also. Motion carries.
Next, consideration of service agreement with Echo Logic. This is a bit of an amended one from their prior bid. Removes the seating aspect from the prior contract we received, cutting the cost by several $1,000s.
Last packet you guys had, I tabled it, so I still want to look into it. It was $54,000. The one you're looking at now is $38,175. There were some overzealous deliverables in the last one that I had to review and have discussion.
Yeah, we appreciate that. You've got some experience in this,
I do,
this kind of work in your past, don't you?
very much so.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the service agreement with Echo Logic.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Dietrich. All those in favor? Mr. Burton.
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
Mr. Prost.
Aye.
And I am an aye also. Is this work going to be done in the spring or do they wait till summer to do this type of stuff?
No, that's one of the things I had talked to them about. I wanted the frequency to increase. So to answer your question, it should start like when the weeds start popping, right? And then they're wait a few weeks after that, they're gonna come back and then they're gonna hit it heavy probably in that mid-June. And some of these kind of exposed areas, and then they'll do probably a fall as well. So we've increased the frequency. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Okay, that motion to approve.
Next, consideration of service agreement with Autos Parking Marking. Don't say that 10 times fast. Essentially to crack seal, seal coat, and restripe 2 parking lots in the Northwest Park Annex and Woodland Park.
So it's keeping up with our maintenance and maintaining our parking lots. We have Woodland Park, the south parking lot, which is complete seal coating, crack seal, and then restriping as well. And then Northwest Park Annex, crack sealing, seal coating, restriping as well. We're budgeted for this kind of R&M each year. We certainly take advantage of it. So our parking lots update. As a footnote, we did have West Side Park on there as well. I chose to take it out because I want to look at doing some extensive work on the entry drive into West Side Park, right from that front parking lot to the back one. I'm getting quotes on getting that done, so stay tuned. That was scheduled to get seal coated, that front parking lot, but there's no point in doing that until we get this done first, that road.
Makes sense. Yeah, I was just at Northwest Annex 2 days ago. I turned in there, looking around the parking lot, so I was happy to see this on there. So good to see you guys are on it. Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, I need a motion to approve the service agreement with Autos Parking Marking for seal coating, crack sealing, and restriping at Northwest Park Annex and Woodland Park.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Prost, seconded by Mr. Burton. All those in favor, Mr. Prost,
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich,
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
Aye.
I'm an aye also, motion carries.
Next is a consideration of service agreement with Horner Industrial. This is for repair and maintenance work at the water park for 2 water pumps. It's a contract for not more than $23,568. Could come in under that depending on what route is taken on, whether they replace the motors or they're just fixed or.
He's got it, right? So it's not to exceed amount. The pumps that we hook up to, they're obsolete, just fine. They just can't get the proper O-rings and stuff like that. OEM, but they do have aftermarkets that the guy is 100% confident will work. It just doesn't know those costs yet. They'll know when they disassemble and take them apart. So this is part of a 2-year plan. Okay, unfortunately, we weren't able to get 50% of them done this year because we got sticker shock Okay, so this went well beyond our budget, so we'll definitely have to adjust our budget for 2024 to make sure we get 2/3 of it replaced for 2024. But why I say this is a 2-year plan is we wanted to get 50% of the motors replaced this year, and we wanted to get 50% replaced next year. It's part of owning a pool, all right? But what we're doing is these old motors that we're taking out, we're not just taking them and taking them away and then they're gone. We're having them rebuild them and then we're gonna use them as adding stock. So if we ever get caught during the middle of the season, June or July, we're gonna pull a motor from our inventory. And we're gonna be able to plug it in, so we're not having to pull downtime. So after 2 years, not only will we have a full replacement of all the motors, but the motors that they've taken out, we're gonna have them rebuild them and then we're gonna have the adding stock. Does that make sense?
Very much.
Can you just give a quick description on what these pumps and motors do?
Can. So one of the motors, you're looking at 15 horsepower motor, and that is for that's for the leisure recirculation pump. So it moves the water, right? Pulls the water in, takes the water out. It's constantly doing this. Tube slide, the 25 horsepower motor, that is the water that goes down that slide for the slide down. It's a 24 horsepower motor to push that water down that slide. Well, it's pushing water up the slide, and then gravity pushes it down. And then the other 25 horsepower, which is going to be a replacement with a new motor, that is the jet propulsion. That is for the lazy river. That's what gives it current. So that's what these motors are doing. So they're for slides, the recirculation of all the pools, and propulsion as well.
And these motors run from the time you open to the time you close.
Non-stop.
Nonstop.
Non-stop. And then this is not untypical. We knew when we went into this that we were looking at right around that 8 to 10 year mark. I err on the side of caution because I don't want these things to go down May through September. So if we're hitting that 8-year mark, I'm going to start my 2-year plan in place. But like I said, the good thing about it, well, I feel like the good thing is after 2 years is done, we'll have a full inventory of all of our motors in parks maintenance. So if anything ever does go down during the season, we can pull that motor out of our inventory and get it installed.
It's a good idea, because when these, speaking from past experience, when these things go down, you're just chasing your tail, you know?
And that's certainly not lost on us. Like we've learned from past, and that's why we're kind of applying this present on this new facility.
We've been dealing with Horner forever.
Right.
Right. Okay. Anything else? Hearing none. Excuse me, I need a motion to approve the service agreement with Horner Industrial Group for the work on the pumps and motors at the Freedom Springs Park Center.
So moved.
Second,
Moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Dietrich. All those in favor, Mr. Burton.
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
aye.
Mr. Probst.
Aye.
I and I also, motion carries.
Next, consideration of partnership agreement with Indy for Kids for advertising services.
I believe you got that in your package.
No.
We scratched that.
Scratch
We
that.
pulled up the digit. That's my fault.
Okay, we've got certified loans next. Don't you have?
Not on the agenda I have. I did prepare a contract for it. It's a service agreement for certified lawns for lawn mowing services. Correct.
Is it a fertilization?
Or, yes, fertilization.
Yes, it's for, yeah.
This is for herbicides, some pesticides as well, and some restoration services are in there as well. Quickly, guys, preserve everyone's time for City Center Park, Greenwood Community Center, the amphitheater, Children's Garden, Freedom Springs, Justice Center, City Building, The Point, the event lawn, West Side Dog Park, University Dog Park, Freedom Dog Park. These are for treatments we normally do. This is just a typical agreement we go with.
All of our high profile.
All of our high profile areas.
Question, do we ever have issues at the dog parks where you have to go in with insecticides for fleas, ticks, that kind of stuff? Have we ever had to tackle that issue?
Yeah,
And if so, would we do it in-house or look to a company such as
Yeah,
this?
so, as of mid last year, I made the executive decision to stop using insecticides.
Okay.
We were getting feedback from the public and then we independently looked into it ourselves. We were at the risk of, it was okay, everything was
Sure.
fine, nothing happened bad, but it was unnecessary.
Erred on the side of caution,
Correct.
okay, or cancel on the side of caution.
Right.
Yeah, okay, just
So
curious.
we no longer treat our farmers with an insecticide.
Okay, anything else on this? No? Hearing nothing, we need a motion to approve the service agreement for certified lawns for lawn application treatments at the city's high profile areas.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Dietrich. All those in favor, Mr. Burton,
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich,
Aye.
Mr. Probst.
Aye.
I'm an aye also, motion carries, and I think that's everything on the attorney's report.
Word for it.
Sounds good to me. Thank you, sir. Next item on the agenda is the consideration of the 2023 summer camp fees. I believe everybody's got a copy of that in there.
I believe you guys got a chart of summer camp fees. Unfortunately, periodically, we do try to keep our user fees down as much as we possibly can. But with that said, on a yearly basis, we do review our fees on our expenditures and our revenue each time just to make sure we're covering our costs. So the chart that you guys have here shows what it would cost for a field trip, the proposed daily rate, the proposed base rate, the additional week field trip fee, and the total week cost as well. It also gives us an aggregate cost of what that weekly cost would be, right? So to give you an example, we were $135 per week in our summer camp last week. That was $27 a day, and we had 25 registration on that last year. So a camper this year, they would be looking at paying probably a total for the whole camp, if they were to attend a full 8-week camp, of $1,450.
So these are additional fees for field trips. Is that how I'm reading this?
This is additional fees to help cover the field trips and then also just the base cost of the summer camp as well.
And is there a reason Newport Aquarium's highlighted on this?
Yeah. It was, I just think that was probably.
Just waiting for the finalization of the
Okay.
numbers at that time.
Okay, I didn't know if that was something special. Have we gone to Newport with the kids before?
We've done it once before.
Okay, anything else on that? No? Hearing nothing, I need a motion to approve the summer camp fees for field trips.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Dietrich, seconded by Mr. Probst. All those in favor, Mr. Probst,
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich,
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
Aye.
I'm an aye also, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the Greenwood Parks Foundation report. I
I
think
believe you guys got the report. In addition to that, there should be the annual financial report that was included for the foundation. Just some highlights, the foundation funded some trees for Northeast Park. We're doing a lot of revitalization work for Northeast. There was 8 mature trees, pretty decent caliber size. I think it was 2.5 caliber inch and up. Shade structure is meant to be installed this week at Craig Park. So that's being monitored. The umbrellas, you guys approved the purchase of the umbrellas last week. I pitched that idea to the foundation. They have offered to split that cost 50%. That matches their initiative perfectly. So hey, that's more money back into our coffers. We can put back into capital as well. Yeah, you guys see the Friends of the Park program and some updates on Paul's for parks. So, foundation's doing very well. We're starting to get some really active members on there as well.
Who's doing the installation of the shade structure?
That would be a.
It's not in-house.
It's the sub of Play Pros.
Okay. They're gonna be up there this week? This week?
It's on my calendar and it was verbally
Okay.
committed this week. I have yet for Tuesday. I have yet to see it.
Okay. Well, they submit very thorough financial report.
Yeah.
So we appreciate all the work they do.
Yeah, I'd like to go on record too, on behalf of the foundation, to thank Stone Municipal Group for doing that. That was a voluntary service.
Okay. Anything else from the foundation? Okay, controller report, I believe, Greg is with us.
Evening, everybody. I know this didn't go out until this morning, but the operating fund, first page there, so far brought in 144,000. So far out 173,290. That fund, the major funding source is your property taxes, which you won't see those receipts until later this year. I would point out that the community center and field house admissions are doing very well, at least for the month of January there. So that's why that gap isn't as big as we might normally see. And your reserves are at 65%, almost 66%. So you're in great shape on your operating fund. Next page is your food and beverage tax fund. This one's got all of your supplies and services and charges budget, as well as some of the capital budget. That one, we're bringing in more than we're putting out, at least for the month of January, so we're in good shape there. S&R budget, receipts are running ahead of expenses by 81,000 for the month of January. So we ended the month with 287K in that fund. And then finally, your park impact fee fund, not a whole lot of activity in January, but you can see the fund balance is at 1.9 million in that fund, so you're in really good shape there. And there's a lot of new development coming down the pike that will be contributing to that next couple of years.
You're referencing everything down the Madison there.
Besides that, we got a lot of stuff going out east as well, a lot of multifamily things, and those are generated as well.
I have a question. When and how do you collect the impact fees from building activities?
When they do their permitting process through CDS, they're collected by CDS and submitted to us
Okay, thanks.
as those come in. Yeah.
How often do we review those fees, those impact fees?
So
Last year.
we do it every 5 years. I think we're in our 3rd year of that.
We have like state like you just did them recently.
It's been fairly recent.
But we end up reviewing the CPI, I believe, it's January 1, and whatever that CPI is for that year, we increase it by that percentage.
That's an automatic build into our policy.
Okay. That's good to hear. Okay, anything else, Rick? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Parks report.
I believe you've got my report in front of you. If there's any questions we want to have it answered. We are in a hiring process of both seasonal and a full-time position. Got a few interviews for the full-time position, a couple for the seasonal. But we're in the middle of doing that, so let's just start now.
Oh, I gotta get up northeast. Just went there today, so the shelter's gone?
There's a big void there.
Is, I gotta get up there to see that. Okay. Anything else for Jim? Thank you, sir, appreciate it. Recreation report. Oh, I'm sorry, trails. Trails is the next item. Jim.
No updates to what you guys have already talked about with the ADS trail. That's where we're at.
Okay, recreation report.
You have a copy of our report. Valentine's dance is Friday, 6:30 to 8 at the community center, and we sold around 200 tickets for that event.
That's gonna be quite a crowd. Yeah, it's gonna be a nice crowd.
Okay. If I got anything else from there? Thank you, sir. Fieldhouse report.
Should have a copy of the field house report. As you might have noticed, January is a really good month for the field house. We're closing in on 1,000 members, which is great. We hit across the board, it was numbers wise our best month. Things are running really smooth, and we're still hosting recreation, soccer, and basketball.
Numbers just keep going up.
Yep.
They don't care about the golf simulator, do they?
It's definitely getting some use now.
Starting to catch on.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff.
Thank you, Ricky. Appreciate it. Community center report.
You guys have my report? Have any questions on I asked for also?
Yeah, I noticed there was a little tick down in some of your numbers, but it was a barely worth a mention. You know, it was pretty, they're pretty much holding steady or increasing. Do I have anything to share? Thanks, Sharon. Any other business from the public? Any other business from the board? All the claim sheets have been signed. If there's no other business come before this board, this meeting is adjourned. All right. We're adjourned tonight, Council.